Group 15 is going to present about monopoly and antitrust policy. There are five key topics discussed in this presentation. Firstly, imperfect competition and market power concept. Imperfect competitive industry, an industry in which individual firms have some control over the price of their output. Market power, and imperfect competitive firms' ability to raise price without losing all of the quantity demanded for its product. Forms of imperfect competition and market boundaries. Monopoly is an industry with a single firm in which the entry of new firms is blocked. Poor monopoly, an industry with a single firm that produces a product for which there are no close substitutes and in which significant barriers to entry prevent other firms from entering the industry to compete for profits. Oligopoly is an industry that has a small number of firms, each large enough so that its presence affects prices. Monopolistic competition, firms that differentiate their products in industries with many producers and free. Figure 13.1, the boundary of a market elasticity. An industry can be defined however broadly or specifically we choose. The fewer alternatives there are, the less elastic the demand for the industry's product is likely to be. And the more narrowly we define the industry, the fewer substitutes there are. A monopoly is an industry where there is only one company producing a good for which there are no suitable alternatives. Because there are several alternatives to brand X hamburger, and this producer has no control over the market price. It is improper to refer to this producer as a monopolist.
Price and output decisions in pure monopoly markets, demand in monopoly markets. A monopolist makes up the entire market, not just a small portion of it. The monopolist determines the market price by weighing the trade-off between selling more units while earning more profit versus selling fewer units. Always keep in mind that a company's marginal revenue is just the pricing. However, because the monopolist is also the market, if the firm decides to double its production, the market's overall output will also double. And lowering the price is the only way to enable sales of double the output. Therefore, since the monopolist output choices have an impact on market pricing, price and marginal revenue will diverge. Selling the extra output will boost revenue, but this rise is somehow counterbalanced by the lower price charged for all units sold, and monopolist's marginal revenue is below price. Next, marginal revenue and market demand. The increase in revenue from increasing one output is less than the price. To sell one unit, the price was $10, the total revenue was $10, and the marginal revenue was $10. The price was reduced to $9 per unit when the monopoly raised the output to 2. As a result, total revenue grew to $90, but the marginal rate of the second unit of output is now $8, which is less than the price of $9. Keep in mind that in contrast to a monopoly, a completely competitive firm does not need to offer lower price to sell more, hence in competition, P equal to MR. Marginal revenue and total revenue. Between the origin and the point where the demand curve intersects the quantity axis, the marginal revenue curve of a monopoly cuts the axis in half. The marginal revenue curve of monopoly displays the change in total revenue that happens as a firm moves along the identical above curve portion of the demand curve. Price and output charts for profit maximizing monopolies. A monopoly always produces where marginal revenue is positive, where demand is elastic. If a firm produces where demand is inelastic, its total revenue drops. A profit maximizing monopolist will increase output as long as marginal revenue exceeds marginal cost. The profit maximizing output is at marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. Marginal cost is increasing. The maximum profit is when the production per period is 5 units and the price is $6. Above 5 units of output, marginal cost is greater than marginal revenue. Increasing production beyond 5 units will reduce profit. At 5 units, TR equal to PM AQMO, TC equal to CBQMO, profit is equal to PMABC. Perfect competition and monopoly compare. In a perfectly competitive long-run industry, the price will equal the long-run average cost. The market supply curve for companies in the industry. Here we assume that firms use a technique that shows constant returns to scale. LRAC is flat. Big companies have no cost advantage.
Comparison of monopoly and perfectly competitive outcome for a firm with constant return to scale. Looking at the graph, the quantity produced per monopoly determined by MR equal MC at QM equal 20,000 will be less than the production level in perfect competition determined by demand equal supply QC equal 4,000, and remember that is a perfectly competitive industry. MC is the supply curve. The monopoly price will be higher than the price in perfect competition at QM equal 2000, PM equal $4, and at QC equal 4000, PC equal $2. All we did is transfer decision-making power from individual small business to a co-owner. Net monopoly in the long run barrier to entry. Barrier to entry. factors that prevent new firms from entering and competing in perfectly competitive industry. First, economy of scale. When economy of scale relative to market size are so great that the cost a single company in the industry is minimized. Natural monopoly. Second, patent. A barrier to entry that grants the advantage exclusive use of a patented product or process. Third, government rule. In some cases, government impose asset restriction on company in order to control activity. For ownership of a scale factor of production. If production requires a particular input and a firm has the entire supply of the input that from the industry. 5. Network effect. Network internalize the value of a product to consumer increase with the quantity of that product sold or used in the market. Example, a company started easily and bought a large product but it will have an advantage over newcomer to industry. For example, Microsoft have a dominant position in the operating system market. Then, monopoly in the long run, barrier to entry, 30.7. Natural monopoly. Natural monopoly is the most efficient business. Here, the average total cost decrease until a firm produce almost all of the quantity demanded in the market. A company produce 500,000 units and a average total cost of $1 per unit. 5 companies each produce 100,000 units at an average total cost of $5 each. The long run average cost curve continues to drop until almost touches the market demand curve. If the market demand is 5 million units at a price of $1, there is no reason for there to be only one company in the industry. The 10 companies can each produce 500,000 units and each can take full advantage of the company of scale available. Net the social cost of monopoly, inefficient and consumer loss. Figure 30.8. The demand curve shows how much people are buying. Willingness to pay for each level of potential output. Therefore, the demand curve can be used to estimate the benefit to consumers of increasing production beyond 2,000 units. MC relate the marginal cost of the resource needed. Tiger ABC roundly measure the net gain to society of 2,000 to 4,000 units, or the loss that occur when the monopoly reduce output from 4,000 to 2,000 units. Net rent seeker behavior. Action taken by households or firms to preserve economic profit, and the concept of rent seeker behavior break the idea of government failure, in which the government become a store of the rent seeker and the resource allocation is made even less effective than before.
Price discrimination. Charging different price to different buyer for identical products, where this price difference are not an inflation of cost difference. Example, it charge higher price to those who are willing to pay more for a product. A. Consumer A is willing to pay $5.75. If the price discriminating firm can charge a $5.75, the profit is $3.75 since the cost is $2 each. A monopoly that cannot price discriminate would maximize its profit by charge $4 at a price of $4. The firm makes a profit of $2 and consumer A enjoys a consumer surplus of $1.75 since he is willing to pay $5.75 but only pays $4. So its consumer surplus is $5.75 minus $4. B. For a monopolist with perfect price discrimination, the demand curve is the same as the markup income because MR same as P is no longer what it used to be. As long as MR more than MC, the firm will produce up to QC. In QC, profit is the entire shaded area and consumer surplus is zero. In this chart, try entering CS as a profit, which eliminates the deadweight loss of the monopoly. Remedies for monopoly, antitrust policy, major antitrust legislation. The Sherman Act of 1890, the substance of the Sherman Act is contained in two short sections. Section 1. Every contract, combination in the form of trust or otherwise, or conspiracy in exchange of trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nation is hereby declared to be illegal. Section 2. Every person who shall monopolize or attempt to monopolize or combine or conspire with any other person or persons to monopolize any part of the trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nation shall be deemed guilty of a misdemeanor and on conviction thereof shall be punished by fine not exceeding $5,000 or by imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or by both said punishment in the discretion of the court. Rules of reason. The criterion introduced by the Supreme Court in 1911 to determine whether a particular action was illegal, unreasonable, or legal, reasonable within the terms of the Sherman Act. Clayton Act, passed by Congress in 1914 to strengthen the Sherman Act and clarify the rule of reason. The Act outlaws specific monopolistic behaviors such as tying contracts, price discrimination, and unlimited mergers. Federal Trade Commission, FTC. A federal regulatory group created by Congress in 1914 to investigate the structure and behavior of firms engaging in interstate commerce, to determine what constitutes unlawful, unfair behavior, and to issue cease and desist orders to those found in violation of antitrust law.